welcome to the Your Yoga with M YouTube channel. This is a 20-minute hip opener vinyasa flow for all levels. When our hips are tight, it really puts a lot of pressure on the other parts of our body, including our back. As well as it helping out with any back pain, it also just helps with circulation generally and allows you to move more freely and easily with less pain. So I'm really glad that you're here and you're recognising that your hips need a little bit of an open. So let's spend the next 20 minutes just relaxing into our hips, making sure to respect them, and if it ever gets to a point where it hurts, just stop. Maybe take a breath or two, come back to it later if you want to when it feels a bit better. So let's get started with butterfly pose, a really good hip opener. Keeping our knees out the way, bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees drop. If you need some support there, if it feels like too much, then bring some cushions or anything to help support your knees. Otherwise, let's let gravity do the work for us and open up our hips. Bring your hands to your feet if that feels okay. And just breathe in, pull your shoulders back, feel a long spine, reach through your crown. And if this is enough, stay here. If you want a little bit more, maintain that length in your spine and start to lean forward from the hips slightly. You can bring your hands forward to support you, coming onto forearms if that feels okay. If you want more of a stretch in your spine, then you can drop your chin, tucking it in and stretching out the back of your neck. Just whatever feels right for you today, follow your breath, listen to your body and breathe here. Okay, let's use our hands to help push us back up, gently coming high. Let's bring our knees in together very gently. And then let's bend our right knee. So our right knee is facing forward. We bring our left foot to the outside of our right thigh. Make sure both seat bones are planted, get comfortable. Let's hold onto our left leg with our right arm and twist round, pulling that left shoulder back, using your left hand behind you to stabilise. Try not to lean back. Try to just have a straight spine here. Hug that knee into your shoulder. If you want to, then you can twist your head to face behind you. Adds a little bit more of a stretch. And this glute stretch is really good for our hips. Okay, let's release. Let's come on to do the other side. Left knee facing forward, right foot comes to the outside of the left thigh. Let's grab a hold of that right knee with that left arm, hug it in and twist round. And just breathe here, deep breaths in through the nose, tall spine, crown high, shoulders dropped. It's always more tricky one side, so don't feel like you have to push it to the same extent, just do it accordingly with how you're feeling on each side. Okay, let's inhale. As we exhale, let's unwind and let's get started with tabletop for some cat and cow. So come onto your hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's inhale and bring our crown and our tailbone high, dipping the belly button. Let your shoulders come down your back. And as we exhale, we push the belly button to the ceiling, tuck our chin, tuck our tailbone. Let's do that a few more times, just follow your breath. One more time. Okay, let's walk our hands into our knees. We're coming up to a camel pose. So when you get here, feel grounded in your knees and the tops of your feet. Bring your hands to your lower back. You can feel good to use your thumb to try and find the bottom of your rib cage and kind of tuck it in. Let your shoulders drop, let your elbows come into each other a little bit. You don't need to squeeze, but just enough so that you're really opening up those muscles. Let's tuck our tailbones, come into neutral on the hips, and let's reach our chest high, bending backwards, pushing our hips forward slightly. If you want more, then bring a hand to heel. Stay here if that feels enough. If If you want to go full camel, then bring both hands to heels and push forward in the hip. Breathe here. Such a good opening, really good for the chest as well. It's a really good heart opener and hip opener. Let's take one more breath. Okay, and gently make your way back up, however feels good. It's a tricky one to get out of. And straight away we're going to lunge our right leg forward, staying on our back knee, bring your hands to the floor. We're in a low lunge, so just have a little bit of a wiggle, see how your hips are feeling. Maybe tuck your toes and bring your back leg back a little bit more, only if it feels good. And just breathe here for a few breaths. Okay, let's try pushing back and straightening that front leg if it feels good. Push back into the hips, keep them parallel. Okay, let's bend that front knee and then let's pull it back to make the other, and let's do the other side. So bring that left leg lunging through into low lunge, and let's take some time here. Again, see how this hip feels. Can we tuck the toes and pull it back, pull the knee back a little bit? Whatever feels good for you today. Just be conscious of your body, listen to your breath. This is such a good opener, especially if you find that you sit down a lot during the day. It's really, really good. Let's take one more big breath here. Okay, and let's push our hips back and straighten that front leg. Try and keep your hips parallel. Fold forward if it feels good. Okay, let's bend that knee again. Let's come onto the toes of our back foot. Step forward to forward fold. When you get there, bend your knees if that feels good. Hold your elbows wherever feels comfortable for you today. And wherever you are, just let your head and your shoulders be heavy. And just take this time to really breathe and relax. A few breaths here. Okay, let's inhale, rolling up, bringing our arms wide and high, palms meet overhead. And let's exhale, bringing them down the centre line, coming into Tadasana. Hands by your sides, palms facing forward, tailbone tucked, shoulders down. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath here, in through the nose. And exhale. Bring our arms wide and high. Palms don't meet. We're going to bring our toes and our knees together. We're sinking down into chair pose. So keep your tailbone tucked, bend at the knee and sink down. Arms coming slightly forward, biceps to ear. Let your shoulders drop. The weight should be in your heel. Okay, let's have some fun. Let's inhale and lift our heels, coming onto our tiptoes. Exhale here, sink a bit lower. Inhale to rise up. Plant the heels, palms meet, come down the centre line to heart centre. Okay, and then let's bring our right foot in for tree pose. So for tree pose, you can bring it here, you can bring it a little bit higher, you can even use your hand to help you bring it right up to the top of your thigh, wherever feels good for you today. So let's feel grounded in our left foot, strong in our left leg, tuck that tailbone, bring the foot up to wherever feels comfortable. Squeeze that bent knee out the way, really opening up the hip. Let your shoulders drop. It's totally okay to wobble. So just embrace it. Our wobbling is a sign of our muscles working hard to stabilise us. Stay here if that feels enough for you today. If you want a little bit more, then let's try and go for dancer's pose. So we're bringing our left hand in front of us, have a look at that palm, focus on that, and then let's pull that right leg behind us, still bending at the knee, and reach back with our right hand. Grab hold of that foot, and then let's tilt forward slightly. Keep looking at the palm of that hand. Squeeze the top of your foot into your hand. Ground that left foot. Breathe here. And whether you're in tree pose or dancer's pose, let's lunge that right leg back, landing on the toes. So bringing arms high, bend into that front knee, make sure your knee's above your ankle. Let your shoulders drop, feel your hip and your quad opening. Let's try and reach our chest to the ceiling, bring our fingertips behind us slightly and sink a little bit deeper. Breathe here. Okay, let's inhale one more time. As we exhale, let's bring our hands to the mat. We're going to land our left knee to left wrist. We're coming into pigeon pose. So drop that back knee, pull your right leg back, opening up the hip, and stay here, high on your hands if you'd like. If you'd like a bit more, come down to your forearms or your forehead. And make sure to take the time to find a comfortable spot, find a bit that maybe needs a little bit more attention, and then just relax into it and breathe. Let's stay here for a few breaths. Okay, let's use our hands to help us up. Tuck those back toes. Let's come into a downward dog. And then let's walk forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms come wide and high. Exhale, bring them down the centre line into Tadasana. Close your eyes, take a big breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. Let your shoulders melt. And let's do the other side. So, arms are coming high, palms don't meet. We're coming down into chair pose, so we're bringing feet and knees together. Feel strong, tuck your tailbone. Exhale, let's sink down. Breathe here. Okay, and on your next inhale, let's lift those heels, coming onto our tiptoes. Exhale, sink a bit lower. You can do it. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower the heels, bring the palms down to heart center. Tree time. So left foot this time comes to the inside of the right leg. Use your hand to help you if you need it. Let your shoulders drop. Squeeze that left knee out of the way. Push the left foot into the right leg to help you stabilise. Feel strong here. Okay, so if this is enough, then stay here. If you want a little bit more, bring your right hand in front of you, have a look at that palm, focus there. And let's sweep that left leg back, foot coming high, reaching back with the left hand. Lean forward slightly. Breathe into it. Wherever you are, embrace the wobble. Okay, let's release, coming back into a lunge, landing on our tiptoes, sweeping our arms high, coming into crescent lunge. Bend that front knee, knee over ankle. Let's tuck our tailbones, let's look to the sky if it feels okay. Reach your chest high, pull your fingertips back slightly. Inhale, exhale and go a little bit deeper into that bend. Feel like you're opening your heart and your hips. Breathe into it. Okay, let's inhale. As we exhale, bring our hands to the mat. Let's come into pigeon on the other side. So bringing that right knee to right wrist, drop that left knee and pull it back. See how you feel, have a play around. And then if it feels okay, stay here or sink down to forearms or forehead and just breathe. Let's take a few more breaths here. Use our hands to help us sit back, gently coming out of that pigeon pose. And let's do cow face pose. So let's bend that right knee in front of us, stacking the left knee on top. Make sure your feet are wide enough away that you can seat both seat bones comfortably. Let's inhale and let's fold forward. Feel that stretch, deepen that left glute. Let your head be heavy here. Let's use our hands to help us back up and let's switch sides. So the other leg on the bottom, bring that top knee on top of the bottom knee. Inhale, exhale and fold. Try and find a part of the body that you can relax. Maybe your shoulders, let them fall down your back. Maybe your feet. Okay, let's use our hands to help us back up and release. And let's give frog pose a try. So we're coming onto our knees, bring them nice and wide. You want your ankles to be parallel with your knees, feet pointing out the way. Come as wide as feels good. This is a really big opener. Come down onto your forearms if it feels okay and just push back into those hips. If you want to try something different, then you can bring your toes closer together, like a really like a really wide child's pose, and sink back, push your hips back towards your toes, whichever is more comfortable for you today. Just a few more breaths here. So good for the hips. Okay, let's use our hands to help us up and come out of that nice and gently. And let's close with a cross-legged forward fold. So let's cross our legs, shins in front of one another if that feels good. If not, just a normal cross-legged is fine. Let's inhale, bring our arms wide and high. Exhale, fold at the hip. Let's push ourselves up. Swap legs, so the other leg coming in front. Let's inhale and exhale to fold. Push your tailbone back, feel your hips opening. Just a few more breaths here. Okay, let's use our hands to help us up. Let's just come to comfortable seated position. Hands on your knees, palms facing up, let your shoulders drop, close your eyes. Take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale and relax. Feel the effects in your body from today's practice. I don't know about you, but my hips feel amazing. Okay, let's bring our hands to heart center. Exhale, namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was such a lovely little flow, opening up the hips. They get neglected far too often, so give yourself a pat on the back for paying them some attention today. Give me a like or a comment, let me know how you got on, and subscribe for lots of other yoga with